are, of course, watching some of the best, I mean, if not actually the best, Indian Overwatch that you could possibly watch here, presented by eLympic for their Overwatch monthly matchup here for June. I'm Hurix and joined by TBM, and I mean, we already talked before about how, you know, Ascendancy is one of those teams that is obviously really strong in this tournament, and you have played with them for a bit, so obviously you know TBM a lot about these guys. But going up against Capitalize, how do you think they're going to fare on this map pool that we just talked about, Kings Row being the first one that we'll see?
Yeah, Kings Row, I mean, you see the possibility of a Widowmaker because, I mean, they generally pull that out on this map, but then again, they're just going to play whatever they feel is right for that point of time. But on the side of Capitalize, though, I guess they're going to run a pretty standard comp, given that Reinhardt is pretty viable on this map since that choke is there. But I feel Ascendancy will somehow pull through this if they, you know, get those right picks. But I mean, if they go with Dive, if they go with a standard Zarya, Pharah, and Mercy, I think they could still pull it off. I mean, generally, any comp should be able to work on the attack over here, but then I guess it just comes down to how they go forth with the process of taking that point over there.
All right, so we will be jumping in here to Kings Row now. And Ascendancy, I mean, I said before how Ascendancy and Pengu Squad and the two streams that we've seen have just been, I mean, utterly dominant. And whoever wins this matchup, as we go over to the bracket one quick time, I mean, I know you guys have been watching it for a little bit, but I want to highlight this. Whoever takes this will then move on into the finals, as you can see, to take on the winner of Pengu Squad versus whoever wins that matchup. So jumping back over into this game to talk a little bit about the implications, I mean, you know, this is still going to be a best of 3 here, TBM. So Kings Row is going to be the first map, and then we'll move on into Dorado, and that's a map that we know that, you know, is a pretty strong map for Pengu Squad going forward. So if it is something that we did see Ascendancy pick out, is that going to kind of, you know, make a big difference? We'll have to see. But Kings Row up here first. Who do you have for this map?
My money is on Ascendancy over here because
going back to the boys.
I've again played on this. Yeah, it's not just bias. I mean, I know how these people play, but then again, the other team is very unpredictable. So, I mean, it just comes down to how they go about it. I know I keep saying that a lot, but honestly, I have not seen any of these players over here on this side of. Excuse me, I've forgotten the team name, but Capitalize, my bad. Yeah, Capitalize. I'm not pretty familiar with their players, but looks like they're running a pretty good comp, I guess, with the Reaper on defense over there. But then again, you see the Hanzo pick and Zarya pick coming out on the side of Ascendancy, so if they're able to pull off that Dragon Strike, they have nothing to defend with unless they get that res up in time. So this should be really interesting to watch.
Alright, we'll have to see how they attack. We're already seeing Reyes push
very
through.
Aggressive Pearson and Reyes already onto the point. The Winston jumps behind, looking to get the wow, and without any effort, honestly, you just see the team being taken down.
What?
But
this Reinhardt is insane, man. He was able to find a couple of kills. Yeah. I mean, it's not really going to amount to much because they already have such a huge presence on the point, and now they're going to be able to cap it out with ease. They're going to be able to push through. But still, I mean, Nish just
Capitalize didn't really have a strong suit over there because the Reaper was there for close range, but they never had anything long range that could have dished out much damage. So that, I guess, kind of caused Ascendancy to push right onto the point like they did. I mean, Zarya just going in there with that bubble, building up an insane amount of charge over there, really helped them push the point.
Looks like they're going for a pause, but I'm not sure if our admin sees that. Hopefully he does. All right, there it is. You just have to bring it up. You know, he'll sense it coming from my voice. He'll sense it and he'll take the pause. So next time they need a pause, I'll just be like, I wonder if he'll see the, and we'll just get it instantly. But nonetheless, though, it looks like he's going to be able to come back. It really doesn't amount to too much in terms of where they're at in the game because they're already, you know, really far ahead with where they were able to cap that point at. Unfortunately, though, he is going to lose that ult charge that he had. So that reset is definitely going to hurt them in terms of the ult economy, and you don't like to see that, especially for a team that wants to be able to carry this momentum forward, because that's going to set them down a little bit. They definitely want to have that to be able to combat some of the stuff.
But then when you look at the side of Capitalize, they don't really have any of the ultimates coming up either, except for the Reinhardt, who's at the highest at 76 over here.
Right, and you definitely just...
see that Winston completely uncontested. The Reaper is really late in his response when it comes to dealing with that Winston. He's able to... The Winston jumps in on his own without the help of any of his teammates and just comes back uncontested at all.
Rhea is actually coming through. Only kills off the Mercy, but that's a huge pick because it denies Mercy from getting any more of that ult charge coming back into this next fight with a potential resurrect. I mean, could still line up, could have Wolf still find that last 7% that he's going to need to be able to get a resurrect going in this next fight, but definitely just sets them up a little bit. But there it is. It's going to be ready to go, and they're going to need it because their Reinhardt just fell to the floor.
Looks like they're going to be pushing this point again.
Man,
they should really time that correctly. Having the Reinhardt charge in, followed through by his teammates. I mean, keep the Mercy in the back, and even if they did die, they would have still been able to pull off a pretty good res and wipe the entire team over there, given that they had the Death Blossom.
I mean, they haven't had to use that combo yet at all, though, because remember, they do have that option to go for that Graviton Dragon Strike that they've just been waiting on. They've had this for quite some time. Yado...
But they haven't used it at all. I mean, Piercer just being insanely...
Oh! Nabu denying the Dragon Blade with the headshot to the Genji. They, again, still have that ultimate combo ready to go. They're just looking for an opportunity to put it down. They have the Mercy in with the Reinhardt. They could have gone for it there, but they get knocked over.
Oh, massive Earth Shatter taking down 4 of them over there. If Piercer would have fallen right now, that would be unfortunate given all the charge he's built. And he does Reaper, taking out every single one over there. Just kill after kill, taking down 5 of them, with the Winston being the only one untouched at the moment.
You have to wonder why.
Now Capitalize is looking really strong with his defense as they build up a bit of momentum. Do you think it would be possible for them to carry this all the way to the end? I mean, given the time, I mean, there's still 4 minutes left. Do you think they'll be able to do this?
I don't think so. They don't have anything to... Oh, that was a nice sleep dart.
Beautiful sleep dart onto the Reaper over there. Nice charge, completely isolating that Reaper. Many ultimates coming out on this side. The Graviton Surge and the Dragon Strike working its magic. Nano boost under the Reinhardt now. If they're able to play this off correctly, given the heals that they don't have, they should be able to hold this, but doesn't seem like they're going to.
Still Archangel coming through with a nice kill. Discord going to follow up with a nice headshot. That's going to come with the Resurrect, but that's only to the Reinhardt, so they still should be able to hold off this. And he's out of position, but still, how did he...
up close and he's dead.
He keeps getting these random charges across the map. I mean, they just... Ascendancy is just falling for it time and time again.
It looks like it's more like do or die kind of thing, because it doesn't seem like they're really aware of how their ultimates are not affecting the enemy team in any way.
Archangel is
I mean, he had a really good, solid set of ultimates on the side of Capitalize, but not really much improvisation, as Ascendancy just keeps bringing it back every single time. And
really,
one final
really
Graviton Surge into the Diva over there, and once she's dead, they're hopefully going to push this point, but Genji trying to contest it as much as possible. But then everyone's focusing him down, as you can see. Another Death Blossom in less than a minute, and they will finally push the point all the way to the end. Wow, just solid teamwork coming out of Team Ascendancy over there. I feel if Capitalize, you know, put a lot more work into how they defended that point, they would have really held it through, because they seem to get a lot of momentum with just one Earth Shatter and the Reaper just left-clicking all the way.
Well, really good support ults coming in at the very end to solidify things from the side of Ascendancy. We saw Ryder putting out a sound barrier right after Archangel came through with a Transcendency there, which definitely helped keep Ryder alive. You know, I mean, to absorb the impact from this, who just came through again with one of those chargers. And Ryder seems to be the main target for those across the map, just insane shoulder charges that come out from the Reinhardt there. I mean, I think it was twice, actually, that he fell victim
being the
to
Rhine
that.
magnet this game.
Yeah, and that was the 3rd time there, but he was able to absorb that impact because of the sound barrier, and then it healed up again from Archangel, who was on the Zenyatta himself on the last couple of ticks of the Transcendency. And because of that, they were able to hold out, keep everybody alive. Reyes was even healed up as well from the sound barrier, who he had fallen over. I think he got slept or something. I'm not exactly sure.
He got slept by the Ana. That was a really good sleep despite all the commotion going on at that point over there. But despite that sleep dart, they were still able to pull through with the Dragon Strike and Graviton Surge, which followed right after, in which Piercer took down 3 people, given the high amount of energy he had. So despite all of that, they still weren't able to hold the point. I mean, they could have, but Mercy wasted that res just under the Reinhardt, and what did he do? He charged into the enemy team, got discarded, and shot in the face by a Reaper.
Alright, so we will see this attack go underway as Capitalize looks to try to capitalize as much as they possibly can here. And we'll have to see what they can make do with, because right now they have a good comp working for themselves. We'll have to see what this Widowmaker can accomplish, as they have definitely isolated the Genji a little bit. Not able to find that pick initially though, but Nagu actually is finally going to die off.
Gets taken down over there. Discord's really working in play over here, because you saw that being done on a Nabu and onto the Winston, but wow, really nice pick onto the Zarya over there. And looks like they are still going to be able to hold this. Ray is doing solid work on that Reaper. This guy is just amazing. I mean, he can just go balls deep into an enemy and still do an insane amount of work despite being focused over there. I mean, what are your thoughts on this player? I know Ray's pretty well, but what are your thoughts, Urix? He's been the star player for the team, in fact, at this point of time on this map.
Yeah, I think on this map especially, Nabu has been, you know, pretty strong as well. And I think the fact that they have a strong duo is a big reason why this team is so strong. I mean, there might be standout players from all of these teams at this stage, but a lot of these guys don't have a duo much like Ascendancy does. And we do see Ryder.
We have a leave again.
What a quick pause! What a quick
yeah,
pause!
Wow.
Viler.
Thanks to the admins for that.
Yeah, Viler, play the game right there with the quick pause. Calling himself out as a god. I agree, man. I agree. Definitely agree. But now sitting at 247 here, TBM. I mean, they had a decent start initially with some good heals coming up. They lost their initial kind of momentum, got pressured a little bit, forced back as Nabu came back from respawn. Now sitting at 86% on his Dragon Blade. Archangel sitting at 61%, falling a little bit behind, but they just lost all progress on their Transcendancy. And on top of that, Ryder, who was on their on that Zenyatta, isn't going to be able to get back to the fight for quite some time here, as he just DC'd, so he's going to have to come back from respawn.
This might go in the way of Capitalize. Look at the ultimate.
It could, but there's a question. There's a question. Is he going to go over to the Lucio instead to ensure that he gets over to that fight if they can last long enough? I mean, Lucio's still pretty solid to be able to kind of help out Reyes to get into position with the speed boost and everything. It's not a bad option for them with this composition. They have the Ana for those big heals. Obviously, you would like to see a Zenyatta in this composition, but given the fact that they have a strong hold, you know, more often than not anyways, would Lucio be a better pick for them to ensure that he gets back over the point and maybe they make that first point hold with him?
It definitely does, because you see the Ana also not being present in the fight over there, and if you were to pick the Zenyatta, you're lacking so much heals for those 6 or 8 seconds that the healers are not on the point. So given that the ultimate's coming out on the side of Capitalize in a few, they're going to completely decimate Team Ascendancy because they don't have heals to back them up or defend in any way.
All right, so
but maybe if they just get that Lucio, maybe, just maybe, they'll be able to hold this point.
Well,
I see the Nano Boost being used out of the Winston, probably going to do a lot of damage, but Dragon Blade being pulled out.
That was the pick they needed. Eliminate the threat of Nabu, and we do see him going over to that Lucio, but it's not going to be able to amount to much because the team just wasn't able, I mean, Ascendancy was not able to hold out for long enough. Yado not going to be able to get in position, missed the grapple there, but I mean, finding that kill on Nabu was huge because he would have been the only person to be able to contest Evil, who just had pulled out his Dragon Blade himself, found 2 kills, and was able to, you know, create that snowball effect that Capitalize needed to push that point through. But unfortunate for sure that Ryder, a sleep dart onto Yado there. But again, unfortunate that Ryder wasn't able to be in that fight. It looks like they might be able to get over to Yado and eliminate him. They actually do find that kill.
I honestly think they should switch off the Widowmaker given the Winston that's on the side of Team Ascendancy. Beautiful Dragon Blade pulled out by Nabu, getting the Genji and the Ana on the side of Capitalize over there.
And we will see him pressuring out the Zenyatta, and it looks like this is going to be a little bit of a 2v1. He's going to be able to get that kill, despite the fact that McCree was right there. Barrier protecting him just enough from that flashbang that would have certainly, you know, been his, ultimately his demise for sure. But now Ascendancy holding out in the archway. This is a good spot to hold defensively for dive style comps, because you can just jump in, have a lot of you know, damage potential in that small area, and that's a grab.
Out, and wow, almost the entire team in that graviton surge. 3 being taken down over there. Everyone's just doing solid work when it comes to damage, pushing the entire team back to their spawn. But Nabu falls to the Winston over here, unfortunately, but he should be able to make it back in time.
This is an insane turnaround, actually, because Evil is now in a 1v1 situation with the Ana, and Reyes finally does peel back. They finally do come over and help contest that, and they do save their healer, Archangel, getting that health pack now as well. So good job from them to be able to communicate that and make sure that Archangel is supported to get back over there. But now look at Reyes getting position,
and Ryder put on his speed boost. I mean, this could be a sign of a nano boost, and okay, nano boost being used on the side of Team Ascendancy over there onto the Winston, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's exactly what it did look like. But here's the thing. I mean, Reyes has been really good with the positioning so far, getting himself up into those flanking positions where he can, you know, drop down. He has that Death Blossom ready. They do spot him out up top here, and they will be able to see him. Look at that
stack at the deal over here.
That's a late kill.
Gonna be able to hold the team back longer. Reyes over there with his Death Blossom, and if Ryder places out well, they could really dish out a lot of damage at the choke over here with the Reaper. And he gets in a position, and now we're gonna be taken out by the Genji on the top over there.
Oh yeah, they do contest this Reaper here. Reyes gonna have to wraith out of this more than likely if he gets pressured any more than that, and that's gonna be Evil pulling out his sword as he's getting boosted as well.
Being taken down by the McCree, so the Death Blossom is not going to come into play over here. Nano boost still onto the Genji, and they were pretty solid in this push over here, and yeah, it seems like they're going to be coming back. Because now you have 2 offensive ultimates on the side of Team Ascendancy, but that's not going to do enough work because they don't have any initial follow-up with, like, say, the Graviton Surge or the Primal Rage or any support ultimates. So to see them defend this point would be really amazing, because I mean, you have the Transcendence on the side of Capitalize, so that could really work over there as long as they play the ultimates correctly. And it does come out over there, Dragon Blade being used. Hopefully Death Blossom going to come in, and it does, taking out the Genji.
Right. No. Coming through. That's huge picks, because you're taking out, you know, the main healer there from the Ana. They also take out a huge DPS threat as well. And now as he's getting boosted, he's going to be already at above 50% into this next fight. And they're also going to get a very, very late kill, because Nis, I mean, he's not doing anything to actually pose himself as a threat for them to, you know, want to kill him quickly. They do kill him there, and that is going to be taking them down to one last fight here. And again, because of that boost that we saw onto Reyes, he's at 56%. So at the end of this fight, if he sustains for long enough, he could definitely find himself with another Death Blossom to kind of close things out on the payload if it gets to that stage.
Oh, they just pretty much staying at the payload, waiting for the enemy team to arrive. And they do now. They're pushing in strong. Graviton Surge coming out on this side of Team Ascendancy, but does it have any value? Yes, it does. Reinhardt completely being isolated once again.
This has been back and forth so far, but it looks like Capitalize actually going to be able to do a little bit more with this. But that's going to be Primal Rage coming out. Optic not with one of his own at the moment. Has to get this Lucio kill off. Evil coming through with a nice dash. Oh man, it looks like Capitalize in overtime. I think they're going to be able to do this.
Oh, they have another solid 1.5 minute, hopefully, to be able to push this point all the way to the end. Ultimates looking good as they have the Primal Rage coming up as well as the Earth Shadow there. That's 5 ultimates on the side of Team Capitalize.
But they have 2 fights that they have to win at the very least, potentially even 3 if it comes down to a stall game. And now things are coming up here for Ascendancy. They get saved a little bit, and now it's going to be the Dragon Blade coming out. He finds a quick kill with it. Deadeye coming out, but Nish actually comes through with a hammer right onto Nabu's forehead, kills him off. And now they're going to be able to push through, eliminating 2 very, very solid ults from the game here, Nabu and Ryder. So they don't have to worry about Archangel boosting up a blade. They don't have to worry about the sound barrier. So, I mean, they have a good shot here, but they don't really have much of their own. They only have that 1 nano boost, and have to find some picks here to make this work.
They should have actually capitalized with the Nano Boost and the Death Blossom. I mean, that would have done a lot of damage, more than it should have, but seems like they're going to be able to hold this once they take down the Winston over there.
Have to eliminate the threat of Nabu here, though. That's a big indicator of if they're going to be able to take this or not, as Nabu is looking to try to take this Zenyatta. They're putting pressure inside of that Graviton. Need to find those kills, though. Death Blossom actually secures 2 of them. They look like they're going to be able to hold this one out for a little bit longer, but it's overtime here. So if it actually closes out here, that's going to be it. They're going to be able to make this hold. Overtime ticks down, and that's going to be Ascendancy taking the first map on King's Row.
Wow. Really amazing. Solid defense coming out from Ascendancy despite being decimated on the previous point over there. Really able to find their way and push through and, you know, focus their targets. I mean, Reaper coming into really solid play over there given the damage output he's had at close range. I mean, he's been able to deal with the Reinhardt, the Winston, pretty much everyone on the side of Capitalize, all on his own.
I think that this is going to be a little bit of some charge action.
Yeah.
Defensive side.
Oh, this is a 4-man Outshadow and Reaper just following it up with his left leg. Just look at the kill feed over there. Reaper. Another Reaper.
Solid lining up too.
Work coming out from the team over there. I felt that was the play that could have helped them defend that point, but unfortunately it wasn't. And that is game 1.
So moving on now into Dorado, which is going to be our second map, and remember that the third one, if it does go into a tiebreaker situation, is going to be Lijiang Tower. You already talked about how Ascendancy's map probably would be Lijiang Tower if you had to pick one. So Dorado is really, I mean, obviously Capitalize has to win this if they want to stay in the match, but if it goes over to a third map, Ascendancy with a little bit of extra threat potential because they're just so solid on that map that they scrim so often on. So, I mean, would you say that the fact that they took King's Row and now have that map advantage, now solidifying themselves to get at least to Lijiang Tower at the very worst, do you think that they've pretty much solidified themselves to move on into the finals here against Capitalize, or do you think that there's still some chance here, or a decent chance rather, for Capitalize to be able to take those next 2 maps here, Dorado and then Lijiang Tower?
I mean, like you said, the Ascendancy has definitely cemented themselves, but I don't think it's, you know, curtain call for Capitalize as of yet. I mean, there were a few misplays here and there, but if they really, you know, like taken, you know, heat to ult economy over there and not wasted so many ultimates, like having the Reinhardt charge in unnecessarily and getting blocked out on so many parts, they could have actually held a really solid defense all the way to the end and maybe even pushed back Team Ascendancy. But I feel with a little more team communication, they would be able to pull it off. But then again, it all comes down to the team comps that they run.
Alright, so just have to switch things around a little bit here as teams actually swapped up. Easy swap to make, though. So now looking at it, we will see Ascendancy defending first here. Again, they are up 1-0 on the set. And this is a best of 3 still. Best of 5 doesn't actually occur until the finals, and we have another semifinal after this. That will be with Pangu's squad and the winners of that round of 8, which were for Sinful Souls. That was a 2-1, which is actually the first time that we haven't seen a 2-0 in this tournament so far in that matchup. So a little bit of a shame that we didn't get to see that, but definitely looking like that's going to be a fun matchup between those 2 guys in the semis that I'm really looking forward to as our next streamed match. But staying in this matchup here, Ascendancy versus Capitalize, you know, Dorado, we talked a little bit about how this map could be potentially more of a toss-up than what we would expect from Lijiang Tower. Obviously, looked really solid on King's Row, but do you think that we're going to be seeing Ascendancy take this map here and just move straight into the finals? Or do you think that we're going to be seeing our first 1-1 streamed set?
Well, I'm hoping for what you're hoping, and that's the 1-1 stream set. But then again, Ascendancy has established their dominance in every single round that there's been in all their games so far. So I don't really see them losing this map for any reason unless they really pull something weird off and they have a huge misplay, which is possible because I've seen that happen with these guys. But as of now, they're looking very strong. Looks like they're gonna win this game.
Alright, so we do see Evil on the Pharaoh right now. I mean, really, the same comp. I mean, Ascendancy has played the exact same comp almost every single time. The only thing that's really kind of switching up is just what their supports are playing and then what Piercer's playing. I mean, we've seen him on the Diva a couple times, but their very aggressive style has definitely helped them out a lot so far. We saw Nabu already with a kill, Nish with another great charge, but not going to be able to find a kill with it. Piercer able to eliminate some of that threat as well, and Reyes cleaning things up here.
I don't really see the farm mostly doing all of the work over there, because I mean, it's just... Okay, finally the Zenyatta goes on. As I was trying to say, I mean, they were on the Zenyatta for 6 seconds and they still couldn't kill him despite having that Mercy by your side.
It looks like Ryder was actually dealing with a little bit of a ping issue there, unfortunately, so dropped out as he kind of went back and forth a little bit. And now Evil getting pressured by the Winston. Nightmare finds the kill. Unfortunately, though, to find it, he had to go completely and overextend himself. Sleep Dart going now, going to be missed there, but still, the defense from Ascendancy looking so insanely strong at the moment. Nabu almost with a blade of his own, and they actually do take out Yato. And Wolf, again, just looking insane right now on defense.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest mistakes of Capitalize is that they're giving Zarya all the energy that she needs. I mean, they're just shooting at barriers, knowing that it's going to give Zarya the charge and them the disadvantage, but they're doing it anyways, as Pierce already has his Graviton Surge, and they could go in with the Graviton Blade combo if that's what they're up for.
Oh, blading in the air, man!
Mercy and the Nano Boost.
Wow, Nabu blading in the air, finding those kills. They eliminate the threat of the Roadhog as well, which will easily allow them to take those last 2 kills.
Wow,
and that is
team wipe.
I think that's a 6K for Nabu, isn't it? Or did someone else get it on the feed?
Someone else got the far up, but I think it's him who got most of the damage over there.
Yeah, really, really great stuff from Nabu. Great use of the Dragon Blade there, and then cleaning up for sure. And that's something I mentioned before, is how he's basically just the janitor of this team. Just, you know, picking up, sweeping up after the rest of his squad, puts out a ton of damage, but that time it was mostly him coming through. And now they're going to be able to... Oh, Graviton coming through as well, and they resurrect inside of it, so they're going to probably kill off the Diva as well. And the Resurrect basically goes to waste their Ascendancy, looking like they're going to be able to stop them before the Payload even gets to that archway. I don't think it's going to even get to the archway.
They're not able to find any sort of openings. I mean, if Capitalize got a Lucio, they might be able to, you know, push in from the left side, but I doubt that's even going to happen, because wherever they turn, that Reaper's there. Wherever they try going, that Genji is there. I mean, they are just being walked on by Team Ascendancy over here.
And a lot of the time we're seeing Nightmare actually trying to go over and try to deal with that Mercy, but there's 2 kills as they do see him overextend for that Mercy pick. Now they're going to be dropping off. Ryder going to be taken out, and they're going to finally be able to push this one through at least the archway, but Ascendancy should be able to make it back in time to be able to contest before this point is captured out. Yato now trying to make sure that he finds a pick with the flashbang. That's going to be huge for them. They already do find the kill on Nabu. That's a big pick because he has the blade.
Winston, you know, is jumping onto the point, pulls out his primal raise. That should probably be able to stall it for a while, enough for Nabu to get back. And Nanoboost goes off onto the Winston. Now it's 2 monkeys just fighting all over the point, causing havoc over here.
Oh, the Resurrect comes through.
Out, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna do enough work over there as Ray's cleanups with the Death Blossom. And yeah, looks like Team Ascendancy is gonna be holding this point once they take down the Ana over here.
So Nightmare trying to stay alive, putting pressure onto that Reinhardt through the shield. Overtime going through. They have to kill off this Winston. He's biotic and discorded. And they will find that. And they actually hold out on the first point completely. So in order to win this matchup, I mean, it should be kind of a cakewalk for them at least. I mean, with the way that they held that first point, their attacking side should look very similar. They should be able to just kind of waltz right in, take this one, and find themselves in the finals.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I mean, I haven't played all that much this season, but it's really amazing how you see like a dive setup working on defense. I mean, not everyone can make it work, but these guys have just pulled it off beautifully. It's really nice to see that.
It definitely takes a really strong roster to be able to pull that off. It's something that we see a lot over in the West, but you know, it's something that has to be kind of composed. You know what I mean? Like you have to have, you know, a really solid shot caller, which is something that you have stated from Archangel on Ascendancy is definitely a big high point for this team. And I mean, on top of that, you have to have the mechanical ability, and that's another thing that they kind of check off. They definitely have the ability to pull that off.
Most definitely. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen these guys play, but mechanically they have improved so much as a team because, I mean, initially there was some starting problems with this team because they never used to play together, but they have been doing that so much now. They almost look like an unstoppable team when it comes, as far as the Indian subcontinent goes right now. I mean, obviously they will have their moments as, again, no one's consistent. No team can be #1. I mean, you've seen that happen in not just over here, but in other regions as well. Like, we thought that Makeway was gonna win based on the fact that they were a prominent team in the Indian scene, but then you see Pengu squad coming in and just decimating them. I mean, anything's possible, really. It just comes down to, you know.
It's crazy that happened in a round of 16 too. Like how Pengu squad, obviously, you know, not really knowing who they are, you know, just the way that seeding works and everything. Sometimes that can happen. A team can just come out of nowhere and just make a big upset like that in around 16, and all of a sudden a great team like Makeway is just not there anymore. Nightmare 2K, though, in the current match, jumping through. A nice biotic grenade coming out from Archangel. That's going to eliminate all the healing potential that they could have had, and they can actually press this advantage and try to take some early kills, and looks like they're going to be able to do just that, as the Reinhardt going to be eliminated as well. And Nightmare is going to fall, but they still do have a lot of room to work with here.
Yeah, that's 2 picks under the side of Capitalize having a Genji and D.Va going on. They might still be able to hold this, but no, Ray is completely saying no to the Zenyatta over there.
If Piercer can get some heals here from Archangel, this will be big because D.Va is out of mech right now. They do find that elimination, and now pushing forward, it's contested basically at the point of victory here. I mean, Evil gonna be eliminated as Nightmare comes back into the fray, and he finds 2 kills almost instantly. It should be Ascendancy walking their way through this one, and they do indeed take it.
It is
2-0 on the set.
Really, really interesting game that just, I mean, we just saw. I mean, I feel Capital's biggest problem was with not dealing with the Winston the entire time. Like, I was having a third-person free view of this entire match, and they were not even doing anything about the Winston. Forget the DPS for a second. Just think about the Winston. They weren't even dealing with them. They had nothing really damage-wise to deal with that Winston, and, you know, prevent him from taking the supports. A beautiful play over here by Nabu. He's destroying that Father of Mercy. Unfortunately, that entire play doesn't show up as, I mean, he took out the entire team over there. Hopefully he highlights that and, you know, saves it for something else. Probably a video.
Yeah, Navu